Well, hump day, Edward.
Giddy
Hump day, and I can tell you it's quite the hump. And I would say that it's the hump that is the dump. I mean, what do we got here? Like,
well, you know what? The problem is now that it's legal, everybody's looking at
everybody
numbers
wants them
a little harder.
Well,
I don't know.
Let's cut straight to the chase.
Right.
You know, we had earnings this week from all of the big guys. Uniformly bad earnings from the perspective of a large cap market that is typically populated by companies making money. So if one of your bellwethers in that sector was to report a loss of $330 million on sales of $27 million, what do you think that would do for that company's stock?
Hammer it.
Hammer it. Catalyze the goddamn panic. Everybody's heading for the hills.
It's hammer time.
Right. So Canopy came out
So
today.
that's all money, though, that's being spent, hopefully, to generate sales down the road, right?
Well, this is the thing. Canopy reported their fiscal QT financial results today.
Yeah. And they reported a big loss, but that's all that money's money, you know.
Yeah, well, from the perspective of accounting.
Yeah.
$330 million off the balance sheet is a loss. But if you're spending CapEx in development of other industries and whatnot, that's venture capital that has not performed, deployed by the company. And this is why there's an overreaction going on right now in the broad market or in the cannabis market, because people aren't really thinking about it in the context of it's like, oh, these companies have started reporting and they're all losing money like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like, all you need to do is think of Amazon in 2000. Amazon in 2000 reported losses in the hundreds of millions every quarter and did so for the next 10 years. And Amazon stock today is worth $2,000 a share almost. And the company's, worth $1 trillion.
Well, it's, give or take, But
short-term fluctuations in the market are not representative of long-term prospects is my point.
No, except if you're long, you feel pain.
If you're long, you feel the pain.
You wrong. You wrong.
You wrong if you long.
If you long,
if you long, you wrong.
Yeah.
No, but the other great thing about this is, SPX right now, S&P 500.
S&P 500, but
cannabis stocks.
I know.
What happened last time the SPX
I'm going to put up the SPX.
All right, here we go with the SPX. Here we go. Actually, you know what? Better yet, let's cut to the news.
Cut to the news. The news. I want to put. What's going on? Oh, yeah.
Company shares were reported to be in line with management's expectations leading into the opening of the recreational cannabis market, but likely a horrible surprise for everybody else. Revenues for the second quarter of fiscal 2019 were $23.3 million, representing an increase of 33% over the prior year's quarter. Some company highlights during the period include a $5 billion investment from Constellation Brands. Since October 1, the company's SKUs obtained over 30% listing market share in multi-store physical retail networks nationwide. The acquisition of Canopy Health Innovations and announced plans to acquire Ebbu Inc. were announced this quarter, and the company was permitted by the U.S. DEA to import Songel products for research purposes into the United States. Canopy's registered medical patients increased by 34% year over year to an industry-leading 84,000 patients. Supreme Cannabis Company was also not spared. Red Inc. today, they reported a $5.3 million loss in their Q1 financial reporting. Q1 2019 revenue for the company was $5.14 million, a 229% increase from Q1 in 2018, and a 45% increase from the previous quarter. Some operational highlights this quarter included the signing of several agreements with other licensed producers, including supply agreements with Tilray, which are estimated to be worth in excess of $14 million. The company signed agreements to supply adult-use cannabis to consumers in 6 Canadian provinces. Supreme began trading on the OTCQX market in the United States and also added 50,000 square feet of licensed flowering room capacity, bringing their estimated potential production to to 13,000 kilograms. Tilray reported their Q3 2018 revenue yesterday, also very red. The revenues increased this quarter by 85.8% to $10 million US, but the company reported a net loss of $18.7 million. Operational highlights included agreements to supply adult use cannabis to consumers in 8 Canadian provinces and territories. Tilray is supplying medical cannabis products to patients in 12 countries on 5 continents. The company has completed a $475 million convertible senior note offering in October as well. Plus Products Inc. announced that according to both BDS Analytics and Headset.io, Q3 2018 retail sales data, Plus is the #1 best-selling cannabis-infused edible brand in California. Plus Sour Watermelon Gummies and Plus Blackberry and Lemon Gummies are the #1 and 2 best-selling branded products across all categories in California, including flowers, vaporizers, edibles, and topicals. Valens Growworks today announced that they've entered into a multi-year extraction agreement with Harvest One for cannabis extraction and value-added services. Under the terms of the agreement, Harvest One's subsidiary, United Greeneries, will ship bulk quantities of dried cannabis to Valens over an initial 3-year term. The company will receive and process the cannabis on a fee-for-service basis into a bulk resin or other cannabis oil derivative product. Aleafia Health Inc. has entered into a global agreement with Desire to Learn, known as D2L, in which Aleafia Health will deploy D2L's learning management system, Brightspace. Brightspace is a cloud-based learning platform employed by major organizations, including Walmart. Under the terms of the global agreement, D2L will provide a series of cannabis education courses on Aleafia Health's behalf. Blah! Courses will include Cannabis 101, Cannabis in the Workplace, patient dosing and titration, referring doctor training, medical profession training. MediPharm Labs Corp. Today announced that they've entered into a cannabis concentrate program agreement with the Supreme Cannabis Company. Companies have entered into a commercial agreement whereby Supreme will provide MediPharm with up to 1,000 kilograms of trim per year to use for the purpose of creating cannabis oil. The program was agreed for an initial term of 3 years at no capital cost to Supreme Cannabis, with MediPharm retaining a processing fee for the cannabis oil produced. Flower One Holdings, Inc. announced that further to its news release of October 9, 2018, it has completed the acquisition of the assets of NLV Organics, Inc. The acquisition gives Flower One 100% in a property in North Las Vegas, Nevada, and all of the business's tangible and intangible assets. NLV Organics is a fully operational 25,000 square foot cultivation and production facility located in North Las Vegas. Flower One paid NLVO total consideration of $27.2 million US, consisting of cash, a vendor take-back note, and the issuance of 4 million common shares of Flower One at a deemed price of $2 per share US. Trichome Financial Corp., a subsidiary of Origin House, formerly known as Canna Royalty Corp., announced the execution of a definitive amalgamation agreement with 22 Capital Corp. It is anticipated that the resulting issuer will be listed as a Tier 1 investment issuer on the TSX Venture. Trichome was incorporated on September 18, 2017, and is a specialty finance company focused on providing flexible capital solutions to the global legal cannabis market.
The gap. There was a gap there. And you watch it. It's going to be so evident.
Just a minute,
I'm
everybody.
yelling at James, everybody. I'm yelling at James.
We're busy right now. If you notice, if you've been watching the S&P 500 today, it has just put in a firm reversal. That is going to catalyze a reversal in the cannabis sector. And I'm about to put my money where my mouth is by placing a rather outsized bet on Canopy Growth Corp.
Yeah, it's probably better.
Yeah,
CVSI is a good one. You know CVSI?
Nope.
They generated $10 million cash flow for the first time.
Can't buy it.
$10 million. It's a dollar stock.
I don't know it.
They're running a tight ship. They're making money, not losing money. Jesus. Jesus, where are you now? On Mount Olympus, young fella.
Okay, so let's see. What am I going to buy? 1,000 units? No, that's only 50 grand. Anyways,
well, look at you know what?
You know that we're exporting to cannabis in Europe now. Everybody's exporting to Europe. Canada is about to become a cannabis export nation. Canada has been an export nation for the last couple of years.
Canada?
And Europe was one of the first places it started shipping to. Here's more from the 4 East crew.
Since legalizing medicinal cannabis last year, Germany already has approximately 30,000 citizens licensed to use it. And this development is having a domino effect in Europe, with many nations, including Poland, Portugal, and the UK, following Germany's lead. For the Canadian cannabis sector, the changing climate in Europe is opening a path to massive opportunities.
Currently, the only countries that are allowed to export to Europe are the Netherlands, as well as Canada. Basically, any of these European countries that are opening up, are going to be dependent on Canadian supply for a long period of time. Companies like Aurora are one of the only 8 companies currently that have GMP certification that allows them to export. So it's quite significant in that there aren't many other countries that are currently exporting medical cannabis. And so it's probably going to remain the same until we see other countries that have federal medical cannabis frameworks in place begin to export product. Last year, we exported 500 kilograms of products. A lot of it went into Germany, but you can safely bet that this year the amount of supply going into that country is probably at least double that amount, and that's just Germany alone. That doesn't take into account any of the other European countries or the UK that just opened up as well.
Recently, we signed a definitive agreement with Acnos Pharma in Germany, and we'd been looking for our first international foray, and we really thought Germany represented a good opportunity for us to go get our feet wet, build a relationship, build a joint venture, and then ultimately use Germany as perhaps the base for EU expansion. Emblem will be providing basically all of the finished oils products that we're producing in our GMP certified lab in Paris, Ontario, to Acnos Pharma, and then they will be essentially a sales and distribution channel for us. So we're incredibly excited about it. It's going to be launching in Q3 2019, and then we're off to the races.
We're just starting, so I think it's going to be amazing for our economy, because you see the UK has just recently come out for medical. You see South Africa, you see Italy and Spain, Malta, all of them are starting to have some sort of legalization, but they don't have the infrastructure to grow there yet. We've always been importing so much more than we've been exporting. It's been an issue for decades. But to have this where it'll be strictly exports and in the hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, I think cannabis just in general will be such a massive commodity, and the countries who are on top of that are going to be the countries who are going to control it for the decades and hundreds of years to come. And it's not just for Canada, but when they do start going abroad and start really opening up, where do you think they're going to turn to for the know-how and for the staff? They're going to turn to Canada. So now we're going to be exporting our knowledge and exporting even our workers on visas, whatever it be, and now we will be the epicenter, we'll be the hub of how to run a cannabis industry in a country. So I think that's really exciting for Canadians.
I'm Liz West for Midas Letter Live.
Hello, everyone.
Ding, 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 ding. We're back.
We're back.
So
His
you know
back.
that we've been
We're back.
You know that we've been exporting marijuana to Germany for
Jawohl.
yeah, like Aurora has.
Can't say 9.
9. And now Wayland Group is going to be doing that as well. And Wayland's only the second company with GMP Pharma, European GMP Pharma plant certified production and packaging facility. And so that's why it's going to be a big deal, a really big deal, Edward. Anyways, let's take a look at some of our charts here. I want to start with the indexes, of course.
Yeah, lots of, yeah, you know.
And up on the NDI, I'm up on the NDI. So, look at that. Large caps down 8.8%, small caps down 6.08%, venture index down 5%, and the CSE down 5%. So this has been an even more of an egregious sell-off day than the previous 3 days.
Right, but trends usually end, uptrends and downtrends, this being a downtrend, they end the day of the biggest drop, because that's when the fear is the greatest, so there's more selling. So
And that's where all the guys who have the...
Like, in other words, if you sold today, you think, fuck this, I'm out of here. Get me out of this shit.
Yeah.
And so you're selling, okay?
Yeah.
And so you want to see a really big candle at the end, like a, you know, like we saw on the S&P 3 weeks ago. There was that big candle.
Okay, let's take a look
moving
at
right
these.
Along. James says moving right along.
Well, no, to your point.
Yeah.
To your point, this is intraday S&P 500 intraday weed.
Yeah.
So what's happening here?
Yeah.
The weed complex, not just weed, but all of the cannabis stocks are emulating perfectly the action in the S&P 500.
Not perfectly. You never want to say perfectly.
Well, I would say perfectly with just the right amount of expected latency.
Can I just mention something here?
Sure.
So in the S&P, the last move there takes out the move that happened between 12 and 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Whereas on the marijuana, that hasn't happened yet.
Right.
So that. I'm just saying it's a good move, but I'd like to see the weed move, which used to be right in front of me. Now it's
all right.
Okay, no problem.
Let's get. Good.
But it's good. You know what the thing is. It's like life. You know, life doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, right?
Okay.
Okay. So you know, I'm a bit of a stickler for commentary in my area, not your area,
right?
My area,
your area,
which is
that over there.
Yeah, my area, this part.
So I just bought 2,000. 2,000 Canopy Growth Corp.
I like
45.21.
I like 45.21.
Yeah.
And it got as low as 42.50, so it's moved off the bottom quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance here. In the S&P...
Okay, look, I'm down already. It's 45.06. Back to the NDI, boys.
NDI.
Shit him right in the eye. Look at that. 40. So we get to watch me make or lose money in real time here.
Okay.
So look at here again. I point out in the last few minutes of trading, the S&P has, you know, toned off on its reversal and sort of thrown in a little bit of dubious uncertainty as to which way it wants to go. And look what happens to weed in the last few minutes. The exact same pattern.
You know, Google today is up $30. But I'm just saying that's the stock. No, but that's not to say. Look at the red line. Look at how much the cannabis stocks are above the red line, and look how much the S&P is above the red line. Yeah. It's a bigger move on the S&P. Yeah. So this may be following a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm getting the S&P up here. I want to show the folks something here.
Okay.
I'm trying to make this bit of a family show. That's why I call you guys folks. Just
folks.
Saying.
Hey, folks.
Folks.
The folks are in. But anyways, what do you think about the idea, Ed, that this overreaction on the part? I mean, it's foolish to say that the market overreacted. The market is the market, does what it does.
You know what?
But
the winds of the market are what they are. You have to do what the market tells you to do. Well, the market tells you to sell, you sell.
If you're listening.
If you're listening.
Wake up, little Susie. Wake up. Anyways, what are we seeing here, Ed? Switching over to Eddie's NDI now.
Put up my NDI here. I want to put up this chart. Okay. And I'm just gonna here, just a second. Where's my pen? Where's that friggin' pen?
Good. In case you're wondering, I'm up now, Ed.
Yeah. Okay. So look at, people often say, do gaps get filled?
45.18. You know what? Just so that everybody who's
okay, I'm gonna just put. Okay. So look at this head. We saw this here. There's a shoulder. Now, but look at the tail on this one right here. This is a tail on this candle, and if you look at this tail, and I got to take this off again. Here we go. There's a gap here. This is strict technical 101 analysis here, folks. That tail filled the gap. So now it's ready. We're ready to rock. I think tomorrow we're going to see the market move up at least 300-400 points on the Dow. This is just, based on what I see. I'm not
You're really taking it, going out on the limb there today,
well,
aren't you?
You know what? Look,
you're putting your money where your mouth is.
I said,
are you going to be long?
Last couple of days, I said the only thing wrong here that gap's never gotten filled. Today it got filled.
Yeah.
You see what I mean by got filled?
I hear you.
Okay, so that gap's now filled.
Yep.
Now we're back above this bottom.
Yep.
Over here, and we've gained a lot. This is a very bullish day, and for you guys in advanced trading, you may want to tune in a little more often. Just saying.
Advanced Day Traders 101, special by Edward Milewski.
101-578.
All right.
Okay, I like the setup here, and I think this market, will lead the cannabis stocks higher if it goes up. Now, if it doesn't,
okay.
Hey,
no.
I didn't bet my life on it, did I?
Yep. Nope. Yep. Nope.
Okay, so that's my little.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And the other thing is, we saw crazy moves in the. Maybe this isn't the time to talk about it, but maybe it is. Oil and natural gas diverged tremendously this last week.
Why was that?
Now, what they said today, and I sent it around to a few of my friends. This was a commentary on investing.com that about a month ago, a lot of people thought oil was going to go nuts. Mm-hmm. And so they went long oil and short natural gas. Why they went short natural gas, I don't know. But it's what they call a pair, right? They did two things, long one, short one. It's a little more conservative. Well, the exact opposite took place. So oil started to drop and natural gas started to go up. So all these people that made that bet
the people that went long oil were wrong.
Right. And the people the same people who went short natural gas are wrong. To unwind
they got to cover on
to
both
unwind
heads.
it, you've got to sell your oil, which makes oil go lower, which we saw oil drop dramatically.
Yeah.
And then we saw natural gas. They had to buy natural gas to flatten their short, which makes natural gas go up. So we've just seen natural gas go from about $3.20 a few weeks ago to $4.80 a thousand cubic feet. It's a gain of 50% in a vital commodity. Most people I know use natural gas to heat their home. I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a little chilly, a little more chilly at home this year.
Why, we're going to run out of natural gas?
Not run out. It's just going to pay through the nose.
Really?
Well,
because of this price rise. But is this price rise possibly not a temporary phenomenon if it's just a bunch of short covering?
You know what? We're in a world where there's so much money. There's trillions and trillions of money floating around that, and it's in concentrated hands that if somebody decides they want to make a move in an area, they can have an impact.
Yeah.
There's billions of dollars sitting there.
Billions.
Trillions. And there's lots of guys that sit with $1 billion cash and they're not happy because they want $2 billion. Fuckers.
Losers.
Fuckers. Anyway.
Tell us how you really feel about that.
You know what? Conrad, I'm not happy. Just saying. Look, anything can happen. Anything will happen. But never say, I never thought I lived to see the day that could happen. Anything can happen in the world we're in. Anything.
Incredible, isn't it?
It's kind of fun in a way.
Yeah.
And now you can smoke reefer and no one cares.
Well, I wouldn't say nobody cares. My mother's still not too pleased about the fact that just because it's legal, I've doubled my intake. She seems to have a small problem with that. Mind you, she's also, she started to be a little bit more receptive towards the cookies and jujubes that I've been throwing her. Anyways, James is
I still like smoking it. I still like smoking it. Anyway.
Really? I love smoking it. You can probably tell by my deep baritone voice.
What do you call, yeah, baritone, but what do you call the...
Hey, Ed, never mind that. Okay. Let's say hello to our audience.
Let's answer some questions here. Let's have some...
Lou Petrie just says, Midas Letter on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Lou Petrie dish.
Petri dish.
Lou Petrie dish.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks,
what
Lou. Don't know what the hell you're referring to, but
that's the dish they use in science class.
Xjester X points out, Xjester X, a regular commentator with good comments, points out that CanTrust is very undervalued in his humble opinion compared to peers. And I suspect, Xjester X, that you are not alone in that sentiment. In fact, that I know that our young friend Dmitry Zaitsev concurs that he thinks CannTrust is one of the most undervalued
let's see,
stocks.
what is the CannTrust at? Because it might be a little, might be time to snag some up.
You got the chart. I'm trying to see how my end of day bet is doing.
I look down and I see 4 feet. Are they all mine?
Sorry. Am I bleeding into your area again?
Jesus.
I can't help it if I'm 8 feet tall.
I'm sweating. Okay. Okay. What are we doing here? I can't concentrate.
Quick time out for how much money is James making right now? Oh, he's up 14 cents. I wish it would become a little bit more decisive than that. But then again, Edward, looking at the charts here.
Here we go.
What's going on? Little indecisiveness and reversal in the S&P in the last few trades.
No, listen.
Boom. Starts to infect the weed trade.
Trust? What exchange is Trust on?
TRST. It's on TSX.
CA. There we go. Okay, let's see here.
Switching to Ed's NDI.
What do I see here? What do I see?
There we go. Boom, boom. What do you got there, Edward?
Well, you know what? The one thing about today's candle is it does have a nice tail on it. And those are the kinds of candles you see.
Wow.
Any volume there? Any volume? Volume. I can't get a volume number, but that's all right.
Oh, you can. You got to mess with your settings, though.
Settings. You know what? I'm afraid to do that. Might hurt.
Uh-oh. Canopy's going into the red again.
Okay, but that's okay.
No, not for me. It's not. I'm stressing. I'm going to need to get high.
What?
I'm going to need to smoke some Canopy. See, look again. Switching back to my NDI now. This is tick by tick 2 charts here. And look, S&P starts heading south. Weed starts heading south. This thing is tracking.
There's no question. We've been sort of suggesting it.
No, we've been saying this for weeks, Ed.
Yeah. Well,
after they start reporting, now they're going to track more closely. They're going to hew more closely to the larger markets and what they do. Though,
I'm just going to take a look at the SPX here.
Look, they're both trending towards the downside now. 44.97. Oh no, a little uptick there. See, this is fun. This is like watching money being made and lost in real time. See?
Oh yeah.
Heading back up again. All right. Anyways, Ed, we talked to some people on the street, and they had some really cool questions for us. So these are people down on the street who actually know who we are and have a thing or two to say.
Who are we?
Well, the first one is...
Hi, James. I've been watching some of the stocks and their trends after the legalization of marijuana, and I haven't seen anything but them going down. So I'm curious to see when you might know when they're actually going to start getting up and people can start making some money after legalization of marijuana.
Thank you for the question.
Good question.
It's an excellent question. And if you asked whether I know when they will start to make money on the upside, and I can tell you that I don't know, because nobody knows. However, as we've been pointing out in this show, and I'm going to refer here quickly back to the NDI on my screen, we've noticed the emergence of a pattern whereby the largest cannabis companies are tracking very close to the patternal activity as exhibited by the S&P. And doing so with a degree of latency, which means that, as I just did, I saw the reversal that started at about just before 3 p.m. in the S&P. It looked solid. I waded into the Canopy Growth Canadian shares, and I bought 2,000 shares at $45, and actually it was 18 cents is the adjusted fill price.
Oh.
And yeah. And so, and then, technically in the shortest possible sense, I am now, slightly underwater at 44.95. And again, but look what's happening. The S&P is also trending downward again, even though now its little candle has just turned green again, so now it's trending upward.
Yeah.
So this is the fun you can have, but in general, you know, the sector-wide lift that has characterized many phases of the growth in the cannabis space generally, that tends to happen when there's a sector-wide catalyst in the presence of otherwise generally bullish market. In other words, S&P trending higher, a stable commodities market, and an absence of a great deal of political foofara. Did I say foofara? I did. So none of those conditions are extant today because we have extreme volatility in the cannabis sectors after all these earnings came out, and people who don't know how to value the earnings have now, you know, just run for the hills and said, oh my God, this is awful. $330 million lost on $27 million in share revenue. That's just a sell signal to me. So what's going to happen is they're going to get oversold because cooler heads are going to prevail, and the guys who actually understand that the value in this trade is speculative, meaning the upside exists in the future, not on the balance sheet today, not on the balance sheet tomorrow, but in the market down the road. You need to look at the evolution of Amazon, I think, to understand this market. Amazon started off with $1 billion and promptly continued to lose billions of dollars that they regenerated through capital raises until they turned actually a profit. And I think it was 2008, was it? You remember, Ed, when Amazon first turned profitable? Anyways, now it's $2,000 share stock, but you could have bought it back then for $14.
$16.50.
In 2000, $16.50.
It was up to 2000.
Now it's at 2000. So what?
No, it was 16. It was 2000. Now it's down to 16.50.
Oh wow. Okay.
No, but
because the point is, you could have bought it at $14 back in 2008.
2003, you could have bought it at 2004. You could have bought it at about $6.
Okay, now you've done it. Now we've got to pull up an Amazon chart. I am going to briefly tear my eyes away from my losing trade on weed in these last moments of this Wednesday afternoon.
You got lots of time here. Lots of time to recoup your money.
Oh yeah. No, I'm kind of joking. But okay, so let's look at Amazon here.
All right.
And Amazon is, we're going to go to the 10-year. Look at Amazon, okay?
10-year.
10-year.
Yeah.
So 2008. Oh, we have to go longer. We actually do have to go 20 years because it was 1998 when Amazon went public.
Yeah.
So look at that. Here we are back in 1998 December, and the price is $31.83.
Right, but what was it in 2004?
Well, never mind that. The first stop after this is when it goes public in 98, and it promptly sells off by November 2001 to $7.05.
Okay.
So, but don't forget, it was in here March. What the hell?
Yeah, get that off quick.
March of, whoa, where is this, dude?
March.
Look at this. Well, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to zoom in on this sec. Oh, no, it's got me drawing lines. Remove all. Change the settings to the drag. I don't want to draw. I want to zoom. There we go. Okay. So let's take a look at March 2000. This is where the dot-com bomb happened. Okay. Starting in March. Ooh, did I go back too far? No, but this was the onset of the dot-com blowout. That resulted in this low in November 2001, 705.
Okay.
Went from 30.
I thought it was 2004, but it's 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was short there at the bottom, right there.
Really?
And I thought that was
you
going
were
to
short
zero.
you went short at the bottom?
No, I was short. I was shorting it on the way down because I thought it would never stay in business.
Oh.
Guess what?
You were wrong?
I was wrong. That's probably my biggest error of all time.
Really? Did you lose a lot of do-re-mi?
No, I didn't have a lot. That's the one thing about being a bad trader is that you don't have much money because you've already lost it.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Good point.
Yeah, so that's a good point.
Steve.
Anyways, so here's another Ask Me Anything that came up today.
Hi, James. So I have investment accounts and I put some money in there, but what do I do next? What kind of stocks or bonds should I buy? Can you give me some advice?
Well, I can very happily tell you that I do not give advice. That's the one thing we're not qualified to do here. And that's one of the many things we're not qualified to do. But we don't give advice. I can tell you what I'm doing it and why I'm doing it, and that's about as far as it goes.
Can I proffer a little advice?
No, you cannot give any advice to anybody directly.
I was going to say, keep watching the show.
Keep watching the show. No.
Is that advice, or is that just
advice? We don't give advice, any financial advice whatsoever.
All right.
Including keep watching the show.
All right.
But here's my advice.
Don't borrow money and live below your means. That's what I'm going to say.
No, my advice is, don't worry, be happy. No, did I really just say that? Oh, no. So what we're doing is, we're in a volatile market here. We're in a market that since 2008 has been propped up by an artificial financial system that has now taken the concept of debt and repayment and tossed it on its ear. And now we're in a position where only governments can borrow a multiple of what they're actually able to generate and keep borrowing. The rest of us, as soon as we're down 10, 20%, we get foreclosed on, and guess where it goes? Oh, to the banks who can actually borrow ad infinitum. So this is the essence of a globally corrupt financial system and an abdication of leadership on the part of all of our free world leaders. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So what should you buy? Anything you can sell by the end of the day, because you don't want to be long in this market in anything. That's my advice.
You don't want to be long in anything?
Nothing.
What about marijuana stocks?
Not just till the end of the day. Or here's the other thing, or unless I can buy them for a very low cost of entry.
Okay.
That's my advice to
God down 21 cents.
Yeah.
Tilray.
Hey James, just wondering when you think the next recession's going to hit.
Okay.
You know what?
A young lady asked you when you think the next recession's going to hit.
You rolled it? Oh. And that's a good question. When is the next recession going to hit? She wants to know. And let's say Thursday, next week. No. No, when's the next recession going to hit?
When I was in grade school, I used to always ask the teacher, when's the next recession? Anyway, I digress.
In the grand economic scheme of things, when will the next recession occur? Boy, that is such a loaded question.
You know what? If the stock market really craps out, it'll induce a recession.
Well, arguably the recession is here.
For you, 1262 down $1.
So the bottom line is we can't tell you when the recession is going to happen, but it's looking like it could be any day now, thanks to the fact that the whole global debt to GDP ratio argument is starting to be unsupportable by simple logic. Instability is spreading globally thanks to the moron in the White House. What else? Yeah, there's a whole confluence of reasons why a recession could suddenly grip the markets. And, looking at the tech stocks, they look like they've topped out. And if you consider that they've used the free money created by central bank policy to buy back stock and thus engender a rise in share price by virtue of shrinking the supply, one might argue that the recession that began in 2008 is continuing with the visual symptoms temporarily obfuscated by quantitative easing and zero interest rate policy. Those two policies have always been deemed as insupportable and artificial, and I think proof of that is going to be in the next recession, which should have a degree of magnitude roughly double, by my estimate, of the last one. So, don't know when, don't know how, but definitely think it's coming, and I think it's coming soon. In the meantime, I'm just trading in and out of marijuana stocks and some mining stocks and trying to get a little chicken for when the shit hits the fan. I've got a little liquidity to at least drink myself into a stupor. There, I hope that was a good answer. Would you like to take a crack at that one, Ed? When's the next recession?
I think it'll be induced by a correction in the market. When the market rolls over and people start losing money, they stop spending because there's such serious amounts involved, especially in those FANG stocks. FANG stocks. FANG. FANG stands for
Facebook, Amazon,
Apple,
Netflix,
and Google.
Google.
There you go. When those 5, because the capital involved there, I mean, Amazon and Apple are $2 trillion or thereabouts. They're both under $1 trillion now, by the way.
Wow.
Anyway, so yeah, you know what? When everybody's making money, you can spend, right? The markets go up, like we saw. Yep. If the markets roll over and they start to feed on themselves, and margin calls kick in, which is some of the reason why the drops are so severe.
Yes.
People say, hey, honey, let me see your credit card, and she hands it over, snips it in half, and said, there you go. Good luck. But
that's a good idea.
It's like dominoes. You know dominoes? Anyway, so that's what I think. And look, what we've seen interest rates rise too, right?
Yeah.
And now commodities are... Okay, go ahead.
Here's another question from our audience. James Albert wants to know, with Canopy and Tilray missing the mark on earnings and losses, do you think this will bode well for Aurora and Aphria? Or do you think they will suffer along with Canopy and Tilray?
Aurora already came out, though.
Aurora kicked off the week.
Yeah,
they reported revenue of $30 million.
But they're operating. They lost $100 million if you just look at SG&A and but if you add in all their M&A activity, they made some money.
Well,
they
liquidated a position for $85 million.
Yeah, well, that's what their gain was.
Right, but they're not an investment company, so that could be considered a one-time.
Listen. Full disclosure, I took accounting. Okay. No, but to your point. But when you read the headline, it said Aphria or Aurora makes so much money.
Right.
Bit of a. I'm not so sure they made any money.
Well, they said Aurora reports $30 million in revenue.
No. Well,
they didn't say. Okay. Did they show a profit? All right.
Here we go. ACB, here's a news headline from yesterday. Look,
there's Bobby Mullins cracking jokes in our Twitterverse again here. Plug the laptop to the AC.
Globe says Aurora earns $104 million in first quarter.
That's the Globe and Mail.
No, but that's on this. That's a headline that went out.
The Globe.
It was a headline in Stockwatch.
This is a mainstream newspaper, Edward. You can't expect them to know anything about finance.
Okay.
Maple Mike wants to know what our thoughts are on Cannabis, which symbol is BLO. Cannabis are the guys that make the Draeger, or at least are selling the Draeger roadside cannabis intoxication tester.
I need to see a chart, okay? I haven't followed it that closely, but if you could show me a chart.
Oh, okay. BLO is the symbol on the CSE. So anyways, Maple Mike, I'm going to give you my fundamental viewpoint, which is that the Draeger has been demonstrating problems in trials, though it is still the only device on the market. I happen to know of another device coming to market that, from what I can tell, is going to be more reliable and is likely to displace the Draeger if successful. And that is in a company called Fluorotech, trades under the symbol TEST. Full disclosure, not a shareholder yet. Waiting for the bottom in this market, intending to become a shareholder. And also, we're going to have one of their machines on our show to test cannabis on a daily basis from all of the government suppliers of cannabis. So, what do I think of Canada Explo? Well, I think that I
have a chart up here if you want some.
It's a great symbol. All right, there we go.
Okay, so we got, you know what? This is it's a 6 month chart.
Stock?
6 month chart.
Is this a limbo stock?
It's towards the low end of its range.
So it is a limbo stock. You know what a limbo stock is?
Yeah.
One that keeps putting the bar lower and says, how low can you go?
And they're so glad that Chubby Checker invented the twist, probably, right?
Do the twist. No, we're not going to do the twist right now.
Hey, should I get up and do my rendition of...
Are you feeling a little? You got to feel it in the hips. We got chairs.
Like
we don't have to get
up.
Look, Ed, this chair is designed for doing the twist.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want to say hello to Richard Barksdale, regular on the show lately. Ed covering his shorts. He wants you to stand up. He thinks you're covering your shorts.
I'm flat. No more shorts.
Maple Mike screaming, buy the dip. Lou Petri dish. He agrees with you, Ed. Very powerful reverse last today?
I think that we're...
People are agreeing with you.
Well, look.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
You know what? Let's
Javante Music says drinks on James tonight.
Okay.
What? Somebody, that's a timeout.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay, I want to make sure when we, just before the market closes.
Wait, we got it. What do you mean?
Just before the market closes, I want to see the S&P chart again.
You bet. We're going straight there.
That's key.
Well, we're going to be looking at that because I'm going to either pull my...
pull the trigger.
I'm going to pull my...
You're going to pull my chain, or you're going to pull your trigger?
I'm going to pull my chain. What?
Working on the chain, gang. Working on the chain.
Anyways, here's a question for you, Ed. Tyler Valdell wants to know, does anyone see Juju growing as a company?
I think if they can access capital, I think they've got some good management, but they need to access capital. They're trying to raise money. They dropped the price from one price to another price to another price. Maybe suggesting that the corporate, you know, what? No. You need money to grow. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. You
absolutely right.
Making faces at me here. So look, if you can get money, you can do things, but you need capital. Now, if they can't raise money, now they want to do a deal at 15 cents. They've announced that.
Yeah.
I see the stock's at 12.5.
Right. So that means they're going to reprice it.
That's where I first bought my position.
Actually, that's where I first bought my position in that company.
And you sold it, made money.
I sold it, made money.
And you went back in.
I went back in. And I made money again.
And then you went really back in.
And I went in big.
Yeah.
And now I've lost my shirt.
Once, twice,
that was a losing
three
trade.
times a lady.
Yeah, I guess I got, so just...
you got
that's why not only are we not qualified to give advice, but I'm never even going to make application to regulatory bodies to seek the ability to give advice because of trades like that. I never want to give anybody advice. Exactly. I can give advice on how to roll a decent spliff. I can give advice on
or a blunt.
The best single malt Speyside Scotch on the planet. I can give advice on my personal preference in tobacco. But
because I was licensed for a long time as a broker, does that mean I can give advice?
Because you were licensed?
Yeah.
Are you licensed now?
No.
No advice.
Okay.
No advice for you. From you.
What about my opinion?
Your opinion is absolutely welcome here, Ed.
Okay.
That's all we got. So
shall I opine on my opinion?
No, only I can opine on your opinion. Your opinion is already the opining of your opinion.
Oh.
This could get really crazy.
Is that an onion? Opinion onion.
An onion? That's
an onion.
A hell of an idea. Has anybody got an onion? Anyway, Anthony Alvarez has a question here. Hey, James, what do you think about the deal between Pura and NOUV? Don't know it. Don't know it. Don't know it. Don't know it. Need to give advice on where to get those shirts. Well,
I don't have to listen to this one, okay?
I can tell you where to get these shirts. In my closet. Anyways, let's get back to some serious analysis here.
Okay.
Enough tomfoolery. You know what? I was thinking that it's 3:48. I'm going to try to give Bruce Linton a call here. And we're going to see if we can raise Bruce in real time on the phone and ask him about the earnings and how he thinks we should interpret that. So, this has never been done before, and we have to tell Bruce very quickly that, Bruce, you're on the line.
Your call has been forwarded to a voice.
Looks like Bruce is not prepared to talk to us. He might be watching the show and thinking, that's it, James. I'm never taking one of your calls again. You just tried to ambush me.
Ambush.
No, but he was going to get with us earlier today, and then he got he was chasing the CNBC and the Yahoo, you know. I can't say as I fault guys for chasing, you know, mainstream media because they've got larger audiences thanks to the corrupt Google algorithm. That's the one area where I do agree with Donald Trump. But
really?
That's the only area. That's the only area, mind you.
Fake news?
Fake news. There's no such thing as fake news.
No.
Darn, my computer just died. If somebody in the control room would be so kind as to grab my charger from my office, I would be eternally grateful. Because now I can't see anything. Except I have this to look at. What else we got here? So, no Bruce. What do you got to look at, Ed? Let's look at your computer. Okay, it's 350. Okay. Let's take. I want to look at the intraday SPX, please.
I'm going to put that up right now.
Yeah.
It's one of the symbols I could put up real fast without any hitches.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now we've got, let's see here. Ooh, I don't like that.
Okay. Can we see too? Over to Ed's NDI.
Yeah, let's do a 3-month.
Thank you. There we go. No, intraday, Ed.
Intraday?
Intraday. Let's see what's going on right now.
Well, the intraday's, yeah, okay. I'd like to see
so the drop is back on.
Back on a bit, but but remember, this is intraday, so from 2 o'clock, we had a major rally.
From 3.
2, just after 2.
2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at the wrong area there.
Looking at the wrong number.
Yeah, looking at the wrong damn thing.
Okay, so
now is our weed also tanking now again?
Probably.
Yeah, probably, since I bought it. Now it will tank. And
I'd like to see, just telling you, I'd like to see the market, the S&P close above 2710.
Ooh.
2710. Right now it's 2708, 2707 or something like that. So we're 3 points away. Not that it's going to make a terrible amount of difference, but I'd like to see it over 2710. And the question will be, will that happen? And here we are at 351. Okay, let's look at weed. CG, I'll just put up the CGC. Wait, what's going on? Is that mine?
Smash grab. All right.
Oh, the CGC's flying here.
Upward?
Well, it's hard to fly.
You've never soared downward?
You know what? I gotta get the Canadian version up because we know. Convert we
I'm back on. Whew. Now let's see what's Ed getting all kerfuffly about over there.
Okay, there's the weed. Okay, 44. Yeah, I think.
What do you think, Ed?
I really would like to see this thing get through here and close above.
Okay, swap on over to Jimmy's MDI.
Here, right there. I want to see it get above that.
Intraday look. Okay, so this is odd. Now we have a break in the pattern. We've got the S&P tracking downward, and we've got weed tracking upward.
Yeah.
So, what the hell? Let's see. Maybe this is the latency feature.
What do we got? You got the moving average 2702. Okay. You know, well, the market's selling off. Okay. You know, I gotta tell you, folks, we're in a very, you know, we're sort of caught between a rock and a hard spot. There's been some terrible damage done. 2701. We're 8.5 points away from my number of 2710.
Okay, I'm going to pull out to the 1-year look on the S&P. And what technically, Ed, can you tell me about this year in terms of what's happening right now? Like this is really looking a little choppy at the top of the range here, right? So these are all-time record highs here.
Yeah.
So every time we set an all-time record high, there's a sell-off in the last 2 times. Let's go back 2 years. Is that a reliable pattern?
And the other thing I want to point out here, folks, like back in early 2018, we had a pretty horrendous correction, and it took 3, 4, 5 months. It really took us till July of sideways action before the trend got entrenched again, and we surpassed the old high.
Yeah.
Even though we surpassed it a bit back here in September, and late September, early October. It took out the highs, but not by a lot. So you know, if you're using your technical
mumbo jumbo
analysis, our license, like artistic license, which gives you a little bit of leeway. Yeah. You could argue, you know, in a general sense, that might have been a major double top.
Okay, so is that indicative of an imminent collapse?
Well, look, as long as the lows, I would say, of early 2018, they're just, let's not forget we got tools here.
Swap over to Eddie's NDI.
Tools. Here, let's get a 1-year chart. There we go.
Zing.
That ain't going to happen.
All right.
There, now we can do it. 1 year. Come on.
That's 1 year on Canopy Growth.
Is that Canopy Growth?
Yeah.
Jesus
Cristo, you want SPX.
Okay, here we go. So look. So we got now. What? How long is that? 1 year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do a 2 year. But the point is, we got a major low here, and then a test there, and these are ascending, so that's good. We got a nice trend there. Then the thing broke, but we're I'm gonna have to gotta get off of here. The point I'm getting at, this correction has only been going on now for a month and a half. This correction, Jesus, this is enough to drive you nuts. Okay, hold on a second. Jesus, I may convert after all.
Jesus, don't take it bad. Okay, Charlie Ear says, I bet tomorrow it will pop back up by 10%.
I'm kind of leaning that way, but I'd like to see the thing close. Okay. so here we are, 6-month chart. Survey says.
Look at that.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. This is bullshit. Hate to say it. There we go.
You drawing us a picture there, Ed?
I don't know.
You can always get up old school like.
Yeah. That's the I'm going to put this up here.
358. Let's see.
You know what? If we keep doing it, the show will be over.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Fuck. Okay, just final point. This correction here, this one here, took months to resolve itself. No. I give up. I give up. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. What is that? You know what that is? That's modern art.
Wow. I love it.
Okay, so come on, you donkey. What's going on? Jesus. How do you know? You know what the problem with this is? You don't know what mode you're in. Look at this.
Oh, yeah, boy. Here's the thing. I just tried to sell my position to be empty at the end of the day. And, of course, BMO investor line. Your order will be submitted on a best efforts basis. Orders received by BMO investor line after markets close will be entered for trading on the next business day. What time is it, Ed? It's 2:59, 3:59. I entered my order at 3:58. Why am I seeing this message 2 minutes before the market closes? BMO? Can you tell me that? Can you tell any of your customers that? So you're telling me that I should not use BMO investor line if I'm going to be a real trader. That's disconcerting.
Okay, finally.
Whoa!
Finally. So
to you, Ed.
This major correction took months to resolve.
Months.
And here we are. If you look at this correction, Yeah, we can't look at it too well here. Anyway, it's still, there's a lot of work to be done. That's all I'm trying to say.
Oh, I got filled at 45.20. I made 2 cents a share on 2,000 shares.
And you made...
I made $30 net of the $10 charge.
Yeah, well, it's probably going to gap tomorrow.
Party time tonight. Yeah, well, great. I'll worry about that tomorrow.
50, did you say 45.20 the price was?
I got filled at 45.18 and a half. And that got out at 45.20.
Shrewd move. Yeah, you're really...
Well, my whole theory was, if the thing was going to track the reversal of the S&P that started at 2 p.m., then I figured it would continue the upside. It didn't. Therefore, I was out as soon as it started to look weak, which it did. There. Now I'm back out of the market at a cost of, at a win of $30. So, but as per the excellent advice of our friend Charting Man Mike, he says, Charting Man Dan, thank you from the control room. Charting Man Dan said, so many of you idiots go into the, he didn't use these terms obviously, but he said, so many people go into a trade without a plan for an exit. And I thought, that's good advice. If I'm going to day trade, I'm going to start having a plan before I buy the stock for what I'm going to do with it. And this was the first instance of me actually implementing such a plan.
You know that you talk about a man and a plan.
Make a new plans.
There's a very lengthy palindrome. Same spelling forwards and backwards, and it goes like this: a man, a plan, a canal, Panama. I'm not making this up. If you spell it forward or backward, it says the same thing: a man, a plan, a canal, Panama. Here we go: a man,
a
plan, a canal, Panama.
Panama.
And I'll read that backwards, and it says the same thing.
A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. Ah! Unbelievable.
Oh, geez.
Whoa.
Why would you doubt me? That's what
I don't know. I didn't actually doubt you, Ed. I just thought, in the interest of of entertainment value, I would actually see if you were right or not. And sure enough, you're right. Damn it, I hate when you're right. See, now the markets are closed, Ed. Can we look at the one-day chart? Maybe you want to look at it on my machine. Mine's less frustrating.
Well, there you see this major trend. There's a pretty big. It's loosely drawn. It's broken. Now you've got to worry about this here. This is what I'd say. You want this thing breaks through here. I'd say
recession.
Kitty bar the door.
Katie bar the door to the downside.
To the downside.
To the downside. Going down.
Okay.
So to answer our street question from earlier, when is the next recession happening? As soon as the S&P breaks through that lower bar.
Markets presage a downturn before anything else.
So, but you're saying, to answer the lady's question earlier, when is the next recession coming? When the S&P breaks through that line to the downside.
I think the S&P closes below...
Call it, Eddie. Call it.
That number right there.
What's the number? 2840. Oh.
Somewhere around 20... 2580?
Down here, right? 2580. Yeah, okay, 2581. So Ed Milewski on this day in 2018 predicts that.
I like this little pattern here I drew here with the two X's like that.
I like it too. It's kind of nice.
Here.
It's kind of like artistic. Can we put that, can we offer that for sale?
What do you got there? What do we got there?
Interfacing. When's Bruce back? No.
Let's see what CanTrust came off at 722.
Let's try Bruce again.
I'm not so sure you want to do this if you want him to come back ever.
He was saying to me, call him.
On a bad day like today?
Well, but I would think he'd want to get in front of the bad news. I think he'd want to say,
okay,
look,
you know what? You're probably
right.
We
invested $330 million. We didn't lose $300 million. We invested it. So out of our $5 billion pile, that little chicken feed, we sprinkled it over on some of the fertile grounds of Europe and Asia. And in time, with nurturing and love. It shall grow up and be strong like bull. Just saying.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what Bruce would say. That's why I've been trying to get a hold of him, because I'm pretty sure that's what he'd say. And people would go, oh, I see. It counts as a loss because it came out of your pile of $5 billion. Doesn't mean that you actually had it to lose from.
How much cash have they sitting on? Did anybody pick up that number? They must be sitting on a ton of cash.
$5 billion, at net of $330 million.
Well, at that rate, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not significant. However, in the context,
you know what? To your point, if that's the case, they're sitting on all that cash. But when I looked at Aurora, they're sitting with about $130 million in cash.
Yep.
Their payables are pretty high.
Yes.
Like they're not as liquid there, but they've got lots of investments, right?
Well, and they were the best. They were the biggest revenue producer out of all of them in the period.
A tribute to management's aggressive style.
Well, attributable to who knows what, je ne sais quoi. Maybe they got the best weed. Maybe they got the best sales program. Maybe they're tickling the,
tickling the ivories.
Tickling something that's making somebody, put the in the front shelf.
Okie dokie.
So what weed did we end up buying on legalization day?
Let's see.
Well, we bought.
I'm gonna be.
We ended up buying.
Yeah.
We ended up buying.
Where's my box?
Your box is gone.
That didn't last very long.
Somebody found it and swiped it.
Did they?
No, it's right here. It's stuffed in the back.
All right. I'm going to take that off your hand.
So we bought Aurora and we bought Organogram's Edison. Yeah.
Here. Here. I'll show you.
There's one left.
Oh,
somebody's been slowly but surely shepherding them out the door. Ed, can I see that package for a second?
I'll give you the package. Anyway, what kind of a package do you think it is?
Okay, so there's 5 pre-rolls in there. I don't need the package. So again, I'm going to go to the.
There's nothing. See,
I'm going to go to the discussion we've been having about the mislabeling issue because I sent Cam a screenshot and he says I don't see any issue. It says 45 and 45. It's like, yeah, but it says THC per unit, 2.5 milligrams, and then in brackets, total THC.
You just can't let this go, Ken. You've been talking about this now every day.
Well, because everybody's like, there's no issue here. And I'm telling you, there's a major issue.
Is there a major issue?
Well, if you can't if you can't interpret the label, first of all, you don't know what you're putting in your body. So in the same sentence where it says THC per unit, 2.5 milligrams, total THC per unit, 44.5 milligrams. I don't know. The discrepancy doesn't disturb you. It disturbs the hell out of me. Anyways, so Aurora was one of the ones that were still in stock in the cannabis store by the time I logged on at about 2 in the afternoon to buy my first cannabis purchase on the Ontario Cannabis Store. And, that speaks, there was no Canopy left that I could buy. There was no Afria. There was Aurora and Edison and the Redican, which is a private company, but about which I knew nothing, so obviously I had no trust. So I went with my friends at Aurora and my friends at Organogram. There you have it.
So my good friend went for a job interview.
Yeah.
And, he's quite articulate and well-spoken, and he hands his resume, and the interviewer looks at him and says, it says here that you're extremely frank, that you're blunt, and you consider this to be a bit of a problem in why you can't get a job. And the guy says, I quite frankly, I think that's great that you're blunt. The guy looks at him and says, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah, that's...
What do you think of that?
Well, I told that joke like a year ago. Here.
Okay.
But I like the way it's changed.
You told
it to you. But it was a bit different. It was a bit different.
Did you say it was a limp biscuit?
No. Bobby Mullins here is like, what's he doing? He's got a regular conversation going here
with himself.
No, it seems to be happening with everybody else. Richard Barksdale wants everybody to know that it's 4:09. Don't know why. 4:10 over here, Richard. Of course, that could have been 1 minute ago. Let's see. Just kidding with you there. Kempo Consulting. It has been brutal. Hey, Kempo, how are you doing? Daryl Cooper. Nope. Hello. Nope. Nope. Daryl. Maple Mike. Ooh, CGC up 4 cents after hours. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Is the after trade will take the thing higher, and then I'll know that I.
Well, if the S&P opens up big, don't buy it then. Wait for a pullback to fill the gap, and then buy it. Because you'll probably think a rookie move would be if it gaps tomorrow, people jump in, it pulls back all the way to unchanged, and everybody sells, and then it goes right back up.
So you're saying tomorrow the chart's going to look like this?
I don't know about that.
At the beginning.
That's the W in Wayland.
Ooh, coincidence? I don't think so. They're our client. We love them. So Interest down another 61 cents today to 722.
I think that
highway robbery.
But that's got some pretty steep candles.
Canopy Rivers off 38 cents to 377. Bargain. Kronos Group down 15 cents to 1080. These things are heading back to where they were before we even had a cannabis market, which is really quite the phenomenon. Okay, let's see how our companies are reporting at the end of the day here on our major indices. So I'm going to start with the large caps, of course, and looking at my NDI. Yeah, baby. So Canopy finished the day off 11.24%, closed at 45.17. Aurora closed the day down 6%, 6.5%, 8.17. Now that's interesting to me because normally on a day like this, Aurora would lose a lot more percentage-wise than would Canopy. But I guess Canopy was the one who reported the big number on the loss side of things. But I really think, regardless of what the S&P does tomorrow, that the perception will be that wheat has been oversold because tonight all the talking heads are going to be putting it into context. Now it would be interesting to see if they sort of are able to correctly, sort of interpret the fact that Canopy goes out and spends $330 million on new projects because it's got $5 billion in the bank. So yeah, that counts as a loss on the balance sheet. But did they actually lose any money? No, they did not.
Well, they'd lost.
So that's why I think tomorrow's trade in the morning is weed, no matter what the S&P does.
Well, I wouldn't have sold it on the close then, because what if it opens up $2?
Well, what if I can't get to the office in time and it opens down $5? That's what I'm saying. With this aftermarket bullshit, I don't know where it's going to be. So I'm going to trade. I'm going to be flat by the end of the day, Ed, on my day trading portfolio. I'm not going to be in the market overnight any longer. In this volatility, that's what I'm saying. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So the question is, on such a day of bloodbath, what stocks went up in the cannabis sector? And for that, we're going to have to look at the CSE index.
You didn't see too many up.
Well, we saw Puff Ventures gain 12 cents to close at $1.01, up 13.48%. Now let's click on their symbol and see if we can understand what happened to cause them to go up. Well, they haven't released news in a week, so there's no news.
I see they closed their first tranche of money. I think too I know what I wanted to bring up today, which I thought was a real sort of obstacle for the markets to really, really blast off. I think someone that I know that follows the new issue calendar said there was $800 million of new deals coming out. Like one of them was Acres, and there's two others. So if you combine the amounts of money being raised, 800 million, that's 800 million of money that I would say is already part of the total money allocated to this area. I don't think it's all new money. And that money, is looking like for instance, we saw Cura back to $7 today, which was that 7.10 before it rallied back to 11 and change. And people are thinking, you know, do I really want this new deal that's supposedly so hot?
Right.
You know, all these things, you know, 08, look at this, down 10%.
Getting back to the stocks that went up today.
Organogram was
Empower
up.
Clinics rose 9.68% on the CSE, which is only 2 cents. They're a 17-cent deal. Any other big, larger market cap over $1? No, it's all the tiny ones. So yeah, the only one over $1 was Puff Ventures on the CSE. I tell you, Apple makes crappy products. I can't wait till they crash.
I thought you liked Apple.
I do. It's just slightly less worse than Microsoft, though. Okay, yeah, Organogram up 1.67%.
That's the big winner right there.
Well, Vitality Product, well, that's a 10-center. Tetro Biopharma added 5 cents today to close at 97. So it's funny, but, you know, besides Organogram, again, it's small cap stocks that closed up. Bioscience, which is not really a cannabis company. Don't know what it's doing.
Besides Organogram, it's actually slim pickings.
Yeah, yeah. Remove from indexes. Bioscience is one. And what was the other one? Oh, yeah. Okay, so then now let's look at the venture index and see what happened to the upside on the venture index. Oh, okay, well, there's Organogram again. Avivagen, Fluorotech closed up 3 cents. It's at 46 cents now. These are the guys who are going to make our testing device, Ed, that we'll be testing everybody's cannabis with here in due course. Viridium Pacific Group added a penny. There's that Bioscience thing on their chart again. And that's it. So almost everything lost today. Almost everything.
Yeah.
Now, what about the mining sector? How did that do today?
Well, okay, you know what? When I look at mining, I look at the major commodities, and I say, well, what did the major commodities do? And as long as the major commodities look healthy, the stocks could drop, but you know, how much can they drop if the commodity's going up? Gold had a big day.
All right. Well, so to see how the markets, the TSX Venture, volume actives.
Just let me just take a look here. I want to just
dollar gainers.
Okay. So gold was up 12.60, crude oil up 50 cents, silver up 16 cents, copper up 2.5 cents, platinum was down, palladium was up.
What was that?
Brent
water
oil was
deal?
up, natural gas up, monstrous.
What was that water deal? That was
Used to be NPAR?
Gene Schelp, yeah.
Yeah. WATR.
Oh, okay, because there's one. I just looked at the TSX Venture, and there's one called, the symbol is WTER, and it's up 52 cents and closed at $4.92. I was going to say, boy, I guess they turned that thing around.
Gene might want to take a look at what they're doing.
Yeah. But okay, Bear Creek Mining last at $1.44 today, up 26 cents, up 22% on the day.
Bear Creek
Mining. Cuda Oil and Gas up 20 cents on the day. Probably got lots of natural gas. Orca Exploration up 16 cents on the day, 3% to $5.50. So actually, the big dollar gainers on the TSX Venture today, Ed, all except for a couple were mining and oil and gas.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Not kidding. All right, let's see what happened on the TSX Senior Board. Okay, well, big winner of the day, Constellation Software, not surprisingly, up 0.92%, $8.22 to $900.38 a share. Canada Goose, that's why Jim Cramer was squawking about Canada Goose today, up $7.60 to $85.09. Shopify, up $5.07 to $1.89.
Wait a minute. It's up $5 to $1.89?
To $189, rather.
Okay.
Well, they would have to
I got a friend of mine just asked me if I saw Sun Metals today. Do you know anything about Sun Metals?
Never heard of it.
He's a pretty sharp guy, and I'm going to just see what Sun Metals.
Okay. Agnico Eagle. Yeah, it's all mining in the TSX again. All of the positive stuff except for the big techs. And Canada Goose, which I guess their stock's rising because it's getting so damn cold out.
The Sun Metals was up to 33 cents, up 5.5 cents on 9.6 million shares. I don't know anything about it. Oh, they drilled 100 meters of 5% copper equivalent at Stardust. Wow.
Switching back to my NDI on the marijuana indexes. 420, Edward. 420. We're in the last stretch here.
We're in the home stretch?
We're in the home stretch. So let's see what else happened here that is any good. Let's see what our illustrious audience is talking about right now. MCGA. Interfacing MCGA. What? Don't know what you're talking about. Make Aurora great again.
Look, you know, as a general statement, and this is, again, I'm not trying to say this is going to happen, but a lot of money, a lot of guys are walking around with big wallets because of what's happened in the marijuana space.
Yep.
Serious money, like, and quick, fast money.
Yep.
It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It never has worked that way. It happens quickly. Certain people get the money, and then the reality sets in, and then there's bleeding.
Yes.
Hemorrhaging.
Yes. Sean B. is saying, James, talk about warrants, please. Which warrants are those? James B.
I think he's talking, generally speaking, he wants to know about warrants. What are warrants? Like, I have a warrant.
Type of
for
warrant,
instance, if I was a sheriff, I might say, I have a warrant for your arrest.
Silver and went up. Trust earnings. Right.
You didn't catch that.
You never
Did you hear what I said? I said, if I was a sheriff, I might say I have a warrant for your arrest.
Good one, Ed.
Well,
everybody else is laughing. The point of the question here is you guys never talk about warrants. Why is that?
A warrant is sort of like an option, in that it gives you the right to buy something for a predetermined amount of time at a predetermined price set by the company, whereas options are set usually by the exchange. Okay, but yeah, like if you have a stock that you really like and there's warrants and they trade, sure, buy the warrant.
A warrant is the right to buy a stock at a point in time in the future without the obligation to do so at a known fixed price.
You know your known fixed price, and that's usually set at the time you buy the warrant on a new issue.
Whereas an option is the right to buy a share of a company at a future time at a price that to be fixed in the future, for which there is no obligation. Are we 6 by 6 on that, John? No?
Well, no, I don't think it's exactly what that. Again, I mean, they're basically the same thing, except the options are set by an exchange and warrants are set by the company.
No, options are set by the company.
No, stock options. I'm talking about the options, when you buy options that are...
no. Okay, well, we're talking about two different things. Stock options and stock warrants.
You're talking about stock options set by the company, or are you talking about options set by the exchange? Like, you can buy options on Amazon, for instance, right? Anybody can.
Right.
They're set by the exchange. They create them every month. There's new options that come out.
Okay. Not our area of expertise.
Well, I happen to know quite a bit about it.
Well, okay. Okay.
I do. I used to trade them like crazy.
Sean B specifically wants to know about Hexo warrants.
Okay. Those are warrants issued by the company.
Did they close below $2?
Well, let's take a look. HEXO.WT.
There we go.
Hyphen or colon C, is it CNX or CA?
They are on the they're on the TSX.
So CNX.
Nope. Okay, so I want to change this to
what are they? Does Sean know the strike price of the warrants?
I don't know. Hexo. .WT. Okay, so they closed at That's at $1.97, down 5 cents. So now, if the warrant's at $1.97, we don't know what the strike price is, so we'd have to go look that up too.
Yeah. So whether, well, if you really believe in HEXO,
yeah,
and these warrants have a good time, like a lot of time, then there might be a cheaper way to participate.
Yeah.
But if they expire in a couple weeks, be careful.
$6 strike price. What?
$6 strike price, and the warrants are trading for how much?
$2.
So you're paying $8 in effect. You're paying, the strict dollars, you have to pay 6 plus what you're paying for the warrants, you're going to end up paying 8. You can buy the stock for what right now?
5.
You just buy the stock then. You sell the warrant.
Well, that may be why the warrants are selling off so badly.
Buy the stock and sell the warrant.
Oh, interesting. 560 strike. No, somebody's saying 560 strike price. Okay. Well, whatever. This is confusing.
But they're out of the money. They're out of the money.
They're clearly out of the money.
Yeah.
Water for dinner tonight again, they're saying.
Water for dinner?
I don't think they're too impressed with our warrant explanation.
Wait a minute, no.
See, now you can tell why. Here's why we don't talk about warrants that often.
I get a blackboard up. I'll explain it to them, okay? Because it's like an option.
Yeah.
There's intrinsic value, and then there's.
We don't want to go there right now, Edward.
All right. I'm just saying.
Okay. So let's see what of our cannabis large cap chart. Let's try to figure out what the trade is for tomorrow morning. Which of the companies are you going to pick, Ed?
Which one of the companies I'm going to pick for what?
Well, of the large cap companies.
Look. If the S&P, what was the number finally on the S&P? What was the actual closing number on the S&P 500?
Oh, I don't know. Let's go see.
I'm going to tell you. A little bit of silence here. 2701.58. I would have liked to have seen it close at 2710 or better. I'm not saying that, it's all over.
It's all over. Got a hangover. So let's see tomorrow what we got lined up. Nothing. Tomorrow's a holiday. No, just kidding. Tomorrow we've got a whole bunch of more stuff coming.
Which leads me to a question. Next Thursday is American Thanksgiving.
Correct.
American Thanksgiving is a day when not much goes on in Canada because so much of, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Might be a good time for us to have a holiday.
Oh, we took Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We're Canadian. We're Canadians?
Yeah. So you're saying we're going to be here?
The Canadian market's open.
Yeah, but it won't be up.
And if you're trying to get yourself another extra long weekend in November, you should just say so. But no, we are definitely going to be here on the 20. Is it the 22nd?
Family.
Don't they have their Thanksgiving on a Thursday or something?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Is the last? They have it on the last Thursday of November.
Really? The last Thursday?
Yeah.
Why Thursday? Like our turkey's cheap on
why?
Wednesday
so then
or
they can take Friday off, and then they got a really long weekend.
So they're putting Thursday as Thanksgiving, so they can have Friday, Saturday, Sunday in a row. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And
Sunday.
they're thirsty, so that's why they have it on Thursday.
I think that's probably the worst day to travel in the United States would be Thanksgiving.
They say it's the biggest holiday in the United States.
Really?
Makes Christmas look like a joke.
No kidding, eh?
Just saying.
All right then. Moving right along. I want to see how our
gold had a big day, up $12.
Really? Got a chart there, Ed?
Yeah. I'm going to put up a chart of, let's see, here we go. What you see. Okay.
Here's the symbol gold, which had a stupendously bad day. Look at this chart.
Okay. This is a 2-year chart of the gold ETF That's not even a. What
I was
is
trying
that?
to get your attention.
Gold mining.
This is the symbol GOLP.
I can multitask. This is the big the giant
SPDR Gold Trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paper gold, real gold, combination of the two.
It's such an arcane investment class, and nobody seems to really know. Is there any gold left anywhere? Like, who's got the gold?
Where's the gold?
It's not in Fort Knox.
How do you know?
Because I live there.
You live in a fort?
Fort Knox.
Fort Knox. Anyways, this week, the rest of the week, we're going to be talking to more cannabis shows. We're going to see CanTrust financials come out. I think they've already just come out. And we're going to look at what's happening in the S&P.
The CanTrust numbers come out?
CanTrust numbers are out this week. And then let's see what else we got tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to try to get a hold of Bruce Linton again and see if we can't get him to put those losses into context for our audience. I noticed Duma Winshoe could be here tomorrow from Province Brands with a little bit of luck. We might have even the Ben Ward might be here from Wayland Gold if we get lucky. Could be a stellar day tomorrow, I tell you. But we're going to have to wait and see till tomorrow. Anyways, if you liked what you saw here, don't forget you can see any of these clips as clips stand alone at Midas Letter Clips on YouTube. Don't forget to like us. Don't forget to love us. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to tell your friends. See you all tomorrow.